Here we are in RAMbase. As you understand, this is a sort of bulk processing, and it is also only available through the use of the bulk processing application Prepare for Picking, or PFP for short. To get to the Prepare for Picking application, we go to Logistics, Picking, and Prepare for Picking. Creation of common picking lists happens in this current tab called Add to Picking Queue. This tab shows all the CSAs, or shipping advices, that have been forwarded from sales orders through the use of this tab, Forward Sales Order to Shipping Advice. And when they have been forwarded to CSAs from here, they have been left as system generated, which left them in status 0. STWs for goods transfers would also have shown here. I can briefly show you how the sales orders are forwarded to CSAs in status 0. So we go to this tab, and let's filter out sales orders for a certain customer. And if we press here, forward all filtered items to shipping advice, we get this pop-up. And if we then choose leave as system generated and press OK, they will be forwarded and left as CSAs in status 0, which can be found here. Moving on, let's say that we wanted to make a common picking list for all shipping advices created today, going out to this one specific customer. We could then filter out those CSAs This time it was 4 of them. We forward the filtered lines, that is all the lines that matches the filter, and tell the system that we want them in the picking process by clicking here, add all filtered lines to picking process. In this pop-up you have a drop-down with 2 choices, and so far there is nothing new. The choice Add to Picking Queue will only forward the CSAs to status 2, and at that stage in the process no picking lists are created. They are created when the CSAs go to status 3. So to create a common picking list, we have to send the documents to status 3, since that is when picking is initialized. That is to say, all the documents related to the picking process are created, amongst other things. The choice Start Picking will, however, initialize this process, and when selected, we get a new checkbox under the dropdown, and it says Add all filtered lines to one common picking list per recipient, which means that there is a grouping here. If I had filtered in such a way that multiple customers or recipients would show up, I would have created one common picking list per customer. I also now have the possibility to give the common picking list a name for descriptive reasons and to make it recognizable later in the process. So let's give this list a name. And press OK. Having pressed OK, the common picking list has been created. I can show you how the print would look. So as you can see, the name I gave to the picking list is here at the top. And instead of a reference to a specific shipping advice with a corresponding barcode, there is rather a picking list ID with a corresponding barcode. So like I said, common picking lists are grouped per recipient or customer number. There is no grouping based on delivery term, shipping service, shipping address, and so on. This means that if one of these CSAs had a different shipping service than the others, they still would have gotten grouped together and ended up on the same picking list. What this means is that if you use a common picking list on a customer with different shipping addresses, you will, after picking, have to sort the items in different boxes and so on, based on where they are headed. So this list is just so you can pick everything at the same time. So we have also removed information regarding delivery term, shipping service, and much else of what is found on a regular picking list in this area. Here, further down in the document, is information about which CSAs the different lines on the picking list belong to. And like I mentioned, picking lists as they are now have a CSA ID, and common picking lists get a picking list ID. So for those who are using handheld devices for picking, would then scan this barcode or copy the ID and paste it into the application. I can show you this. So let's go to SCANPICK. I have copied the picking list ID, so I will just paste it in here to find the SCANPICK document. Some changes to SCANPICK. Up here to the right, you will see what shipping advice this current pick belongs to and what picking list it belongs to. So as I browse through the different picks on the list, we can see that the CSA that is referred to changes along the way. And now the regular pick application, which is where you would confirm picking if you do not use a handheld device, will also be slightly different for a CSA that is included in a common picking list. So we can go to this CSA. And enter the pick application from here. And now we can see instead of a reference to a CSA, we have a reference to a picking list. And we also have a new column here, which shows which CSA the specific pick belongs to. Should we, however, open the pick application from the item level, it will only show info for that specific item. So let's go to the item level here. Open up the pick application. And as you can see, there's a reference to the CSA, and you only see information about the item you opened up from. That pretty much covers the common picking list.